All right, so I have 5 of my clues here from the Cotton Cuts Piazza Puzzle Mystery Quilt. I got just a little bit behind. But I thought it would be fun to see how many of them I can catch up on in 3 hours. So I have 3 hours this morning that I can just sit here and sew and work on something. And I thought, why not use that time to get caught up? All right. So I'm going to jump in and just start working on it. You might see me sitting with everything sped up, and I'm going to have my headphones on listening to a podcast because that's really what I like to do when I'm sitting and sewing. So, yeah, let's jump in and get started. I'm going to walk you through some of it so you can get an idea of how they work, but a lot of it might be sped up with music and stuff like that. I am going to have that timer set, but first I'm going to show you some of the things here that you get when you get one of these puzzle mystery quilts. So each month you're going to get the fabric and it's all cut, and then you're going to get the pattern for the clues that you're going to be sewing. And so for this month we're going to be making 4 blocks, and then the pattern also tells you what pattern pieces you get so you can count them, make sure you have everything. In only your first clue do you get this paper, and you can see mine's already getting kind of beat up, but it'll tell you what each fabric is labeled, so fabric A, B, and all of that. So make sure you keep that. The pattern will just tell you how to build your block. This one actually looks pretty straightforward. Perfect one to come back and get started on. So it looks like I need, so these larger ones here, they're good. That's going to be in the middle, or is it the smaller one? It might be the smaller one in the middle. I need to pay attention. See, this can happen to me. So we have this smaller A in the middle, and these design boards, I mean, they really help you keep everything organized. And I am forgetting to start my timer. Oh, like my brain is just everywhere. Not the podcast, the timer. Oh, goodness. Okay, and then we need the small triangles, the green C. We need those on the right, and then we'll do the left after we sew it on. So we'll want to get those on one side, and then we're going to sew some onto the other side. After pressing the next one side, we're going to press the other side, and then it looks like we're going to use these small triangles again. I'm just getting them all turned straight because they'll just make it easier for me in the end. So then those will go on that side. 4 go over there, and then we have those larger triangles in the same color that will go on top. This is going to be a fun looking block. And then we have those large white triangles that I wanted to use before that are going to go on the sides. So you can kind of just see how this block is built. We're going to get 4 of them, and I think it's pretty straightforward here. A nice first block to do. And so I'll let you see me sewing it, and then I'll be pressing along the way, keeping it all straight, just working through it. All right, so here is clue 5. And this is the small. I don't think I said that. Of Duomo. I'm a mess, sorry. So this is clue 5 all finished. So there are the 4. They are all exactly the same. And let's take a look at where we're at. So there's the time. Did them all in about 30 minutes, a little less. Not bad considering that I had to change out my needle because I forgot that I left my G needle in and it was sewing a little funny. All right, so let's move on to clue 6. All right, so I have about 2.5 hours still left. So I'm going to move on to clue 6 of the small puzzle mystery quilt. And I'm doing the colorway Duomo. I don't think I mentioned that before. So yeah, let me just finally get it together and say that. So let's move on with getting everything sorted for clue 6. All right, so I have all my fabrics here. And this time we're making 2 blocks. And they're definitely a little more intricate than before, and just as before, you can count all the pieces, see what you have, and let's just get going. So I have a B square that I need 2 of, and that is this fabric here, and we're going to make kind of a square and a square with small A squares. So what I like to do is I like to sew a triangle onto opposite sides and press. And then after I press, I'll add the other sides on and press. It's very important with these, or any sewing that you do really, is to press really well. I never used to do that. When I first started quilting, I was like, that just takes too much time. But you really start to realize that that little bit of time matters. Now I see I'm going to have to construct a flying geese square or rectangle for the sides here, and then also some cute little half square triangles for the corners also. So it will tell you right next to the block. So I'm going to need 6 of these flying geese, and they are fabric A and C. So 6 of these. And then we need C triangles for each side. So we're going to need 12 of these triangles. And again, I'm going to sew on one side, press, and then sew on the other side. And then for the half square triangle, we're going to need 4 of these green rectangle. Oh my goodness. We're going to need 4 of these green triangles. And then 4 of the fabric D triangles to make the half square triangle. So you can see, even though these are steps farther down in here, I like to look forward and just see what I can sew while I'm sitting and sewing and listening to my podcast. So I have the square and a square that I'm going to create, flying geese, and a half square triangle. right, so here is the Clue 6 all finished. There are two of them, and it is a really sweet little block. This fabric's really, really cute. So we have another one finished up. So I just keep the pattern with them so that when I get the final clue that brings it all together, I kind of easily know which blocks are which. And we're at about an hour in. So doing pretty good, I think. So I have clue 5 and 6 finished, so 2 finished in about an hour. And now I'm going to move on to clue 7. So let's get it all organized and start working on that block. All right, just as before, there is what we're going to be working on, 2 blocks. And they're the same. I remember doing one like this before where kind of has that sawtooth pattern, then all of a sudden one is different. So we need to make sure that we keep that turned correctly when we sort all of this. So first we're going to make 8 half square triangles with triangles from fabric A and fabric B, which is the yellow. So I'm going to count and see. Right, so we have 8 of those, and then we're going to make 8 of the half square triangles with fabric C and D. And then we have these 2 rectangles from fabric E that, because they had to be folded when shipping, I'm going to press out that seam in the middle a little bit, just so it lays flat. So we're just going to be making half square triangles here, pressing them. Pretty simple this time around as well. We just need to make sure we keep track of these 2 half square triangles here and which way they lay. Something else to note is these little arrows on all of the blocks let you know which way to press that seam. So I have been keeping an eye on that as well. All right, so I finished up clue 7 and I have an hour and 25 minutes left to finish up 2. So I think I might get all the way caught up before I get the final clue and I'm able to put this quilt together. I can hardly believe it. Oh my goodness. Okay, so there is clue 7, 2 of these, and I'm just gonna put them with the rest of them that are finished. Can't wait to see what this final pattern will look like. And then I'm just going to grab my clue 8 and get started on this one. It's actually something nice about just getting all these done at one time because I'm kind of in a groove on working on it, and I'll start remembering what some of the letters are, and it kind of makes it easier because when I wait a month to do it, I kind of forget what each of them look like. So I have all of my layouts. I have 2 blocks that I'm doing this time. One's just some flying geese, and then this block here, I mean, it's not a half square triangle or flying geese, so I don't really know what to call it. All right, so we have a few layouts that we can do to get everything started. I'm going to put these rectangles to the side because I can see I can't really do anything with that until we get a little farther in. So here are my blocks that I can work with to start. I see these are the flying geese blocks, so I'm going to put those down here. It's fabric C, and then I need fabric F for each side, which is this red that we haven't really used yet today. So I need 2 for each side. And I know I went kind of farther down. I just happened to see that right away and figured I would put that together. So we need 6 half square triangles that are fabric C and D. So that is this one and this one. Then we need 2 that are E and C. So that is this and these. A lot of half square triangles in this quilt. Okay, and then we need 2 that are E and D. So that is this and that blue floral. And then 2 that are F and D. So this one and this one. So we're going to go sew a ton of half square triangles and then 2 flying geese. Now the flying geese, again, I'm going to sew one side on, press it, and then sew the other side on. All of these will be finished. Just need to press and follow the pressing instructions, and then it's just bringing all these together. So I think it's going to be another really fast block. All right, so here is the clue 8 all finished. I have the flying geese here and then the 2 blocks that look like that. There are 2 flying geese as well. So I'm going to pack this up and set it to the side and see what we can get done on clue 9. This one is kind of larger than the other ones. We have 2 blocks here and then 2 blocks here. So 4 blocks this time, and that block looks kind of big. And let me just show you what I have left on time. So I have 48 minutes left. I honestly thought I was probably only going to get 3 of these clues done. So I'm quite surprised here so far. So we have some flying geese to make. We have C. We need the C triangles. And we need 2 of them. And I can't tell. Okay, and then we got rectangles we're sewing together. We need 2 E and 2 F. I'm going to put these over here. 2 E and 2 F. So you can see that. 2 E, 2 F. Okay, and then we got some squares. Oh my goodness. So we have F, D, F. So we're doing 2 of those as well. You know what? I'm going to use a longer board that I have. F, And then we need D, F. I'm gonna have a lot of boards on this one. Okay. So these I know are coming up down farther. So I saw those. So we need 2 F and 2 C to make some half square triangles. And then these rectangles we're going to use later for that one we just made. And now it looks like everything else is down here with the flying geese that are going to go together to make this final block down here. So we need the larger B triangle, which is this yellow, and it's going to have these on the side. And then we need the C, this one here with the E. And then we have the A with the C. All right, and then this is going to be used later. Uh-oh, there we go. Oh goodness. So, okay, so we have a lot of stuff we're going to be sewing. So we're going to be sewing a lot of flying geese, half square triangle, and then we have some rectangles to sew together and some squares. Whew. Okay, so I don't actually think this is going to take that long to sew together. It's just going to be a lot of pressing, a lot of pressing. So I'm going to start sewing these and we'll take a look at it all finished. All right, so here is clue 9 finished, and I had about 15 minutes left on my timer. So here is the clue. This is 9A, block A, and there's 2 of them, and then block 9B, there are 2 of these. So I'm going to set this to the side, and I am all caught up on this puzzle mystery quilt. So in just under 3 hours, I got 5 of them finished. I got 5 through 9 done, and I'm excited for the last one so I can finish up this quilt. Let me know in the comments if you are working on a puzzle mystery quilt as well, if you're catching up with me on one, or if you plan to do one now that you see how easy it is to complete these clues. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.